Hello, everyone, and good morning to each and every one of you who is connected with us today morning. And welcome to the day two of Industry Connect brought to you by Industry Inspire Talks. And today's session is going to be about Power Platform, and it's going to be delivered by a product leader that is Srikumar Nair, sir. So, talking about Srikumar Nair, sir, he's working for Microsoft as a principal group program manager for the last 9 years. So he's been associated with Microsoft for more than 5 years, sorry. So he's a product leader with 15 years of experience across cloud services, IT services, product engineering, and manufacturing, expertised in product and service lifecycle management, and he's also motivated to drive strategic and technical solutions to real world problems and needs of customer. So this is a short introduction about what Sri Kumar sir is, and today he's going to talk to you all, interact with you all about Power Platform, on how you can build no code apps by power using Power Platform, which is an amazing platform developed by Microsoft. And I hope that today's session would be helpful to you. You'll learn something out of this specific session. And thank you all for attending today's session. And without wasting further time, I'll just pass it over to Sri Kumar sir. And I'm pretty much excited to interact with him, to listen to him. So let's just start with the session. So hello, Sri Kumar sir.
Hey Omkar, hey, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining today. My goal is to help you guys build applications without any coding background, and this is possible thanks to Microsoft Power Platform. First of all, making sure you guys are all safe and sound, and happy to join this conference. Um, my initial session is going to just cover a little bit about what we call a citizen developer. Very soon you will be knowing what is a citizen developer, who is a citizen developer. Then we will get into a little bit about what is Microsoft Power Platform, and then eventually I'll spend some time doing some demos as well. So hopefully it should be all done in 40 minutes. We
Yes,
have not.
sir, can you be a little loud because I cannot hear you. Can you be a little loud, please?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so we'll cover some of the sessions slides here just to talk about what is citizen developer, what is Microsoft Power Platform, and how anybody can build apps. And in literally 30 minutes, you are all going to be very proud about learning what you're going to learn in next 30 minutes, and all thanks to Microsoft Power Platform. So we are going to just dive straight into the slides. We'll cover 3 or 4 slides of what Power Platform is, what is a citizen developer, and then look at some demos. And there is a lot of content to cover. Hopefully I'll be able to show you some cool demos that you can start working on right away. All right all right, so let me know if you can see the screen. We can get started.
Yes, sir, I can see the screen and so do the audience. So we can start.
All right, let's get going here. So what are we going to cover today? As I said, who is a citizen developer? We'll understand what is a citizen developer, what is Microsoft Power Platform, and then, as I said, we will dive into demos of I can build cool apps without any coding skills, and that is very important. That the learning curve of learning a language of coding is not something that we have to focus on today. We'll straight away get going with the building apps. We'll also build some cool automation that will automate some of the usual processes that you see in industry or in your colleges and schools as well. And then we'll also see how we can build some cool fancy reports as well. All right, let's start with who is a citizen developer. It is you. Basically today you have joined here. You are a citizen developer. Okay, so let's get into the lead details of what is a citizen developer. So a citizen developer is somebody who is not hired to write professional code as their daily job. They could be any person, any organization, anywhere who understands a little bit of skills on Excel, PowerPoint, or some formulas and stuff like that. And without writing any professional code, you will be able to build solutions for your problems, and not just your problems, but for your organization as well, and thereby improving your efficiency. So that is definitely the promise of a citizen developer, and how it is possible is possible because of low code no code platforms. And what does low code no code platform actually mean? Low code no code platform simply means it's a place where you can write apps or automate your processes without having to write literally low no code, or a few lines of code when required, just because some of the technologies is still emerging and there might be some little gaps that are unknown. Until we bridge those gaps, you might have to write a little code just to join custom connections and stuff like that. We'll get into the details very soon. Okay. So that is what. So these platforms are definitely allowing you to build solutions like applications, automations, bots, reports, and much more. We'll today cover just the applications and automations. If possible, we'll also show you reports and bots. But let's see how much we can cover today. Yeah, and the most important thing in all of this is literally no or zero code or zero lines of code is what you need. And of course, you guys will be writing the next set of applications for next generations to come. So it's very important to understand how it's possible. And we'll also cover by the end of the demos or after the demos, we'll see why low code no code is important. But let's go straight into the demos. Okay. But before that, we also need to know what are we going to see in the demos today. So we are going to cover Microsoft Power Platform. There are a few set of applications here, or a whole suite of applications here, as you can see. Power BI definitely helps you to create custom reports, reporting that your boss will want to see, reporting that your teachers may want to see, or something based on the research that you've done. You can make fancy analytical reports that can be presented. What is next? Power Apps definitely helps you to create applications in no time, literally no line of code. I'll show you how to make those apps, and you can run these apps on mobile platform, on your desktop, anywhere, without having to do anything about changing anything there in your configurations for your making it to run in mobile or making it to run in desktops. So let's see that as well, how it works. Automations. Process automate. Power automate is definitely for your process automation. It will help you do a lot of automations of your task that you are needing in your day-to-day life as well, besides your business organizations. For example, if somebody tweets and mentions you, you could get an SMS on top of it. Or you are working for a brand and somebody is complaining about a brand. You definitely cannot scan the whole internet and Twitter feeds to see where who all are mentioning you, but you could immediately write an automation that will keep scanning, and as soon as somebody mentions you, you can get a text message or an email saying that so and so is talking about your brand on Twitter. So those are some of the automations that are possible. Obviously, then there is Power Virtual Agent. When you're running a business, you want to make sure you are available 24 by 7 to answer some of your questions coming from the customers. In such cases, obviously, you cannot be in front of the computer all the time. You will want places where there is somebody who's answering those frequently asked questions like, hey, are you guys open? What time does your store open? What time does your business open? And those kind of questions. So you can easily build bots or chat bots that will be built again through low code or no code. Literally, just you're authoring what type of questions can come, and you're just answering the standard answer. Store hours are so and so. We are open Monday to Friday, or whatever the timings are, and that's basically what Power Virtual Agent will do. Data connectors is an important part of Power Platform. What data connectors is you won't see directly interacting with it, but you will see some components. These are, I would say, the unspoken heroes that help you to connect to various data sources without you having to understand the language in which to talk to. So when you're building an application, you have the app front end, and then you have the back end where the data is. Usually the glue between both of these is actually the connection. And to talk between these two, for your application to talk to the data, you need to speak the same language that the data platform understands. And data connectors actually do a very good job of abstracting all of that. All you're doing is picking the connection I want to do, and just talk to it right away without having to write line of code, establish a data contract, or anything of that sort. So we'll see those powers as well as we see the demos. Power Platform is nothing fancy, but just you can have your own portal websites created literally using templates in no time. It's not something that we're going to cover today in the demos, but those options are also available with Microsoft Power Platform. AI Builder, again, this is artificial intelligence. You might think this requires a lot of data science knowledge, machine learning. concepts are always good to know, but what you will see in Power Platform here is in the apps. I'll try to show you where those places are, but we may not be able to get into the demo today. But you will see that you can teach an application to learn about objects. So that, for example, if I keep showing some soda cans to it and give about 15 pictures of soda can and train the AI model, it will just use the Azure machine learning and uh, backend services to build that model for you. And then next time you show a picture to your application of any other can or soda can, and it will recognize that this is a soda can. Just as an example. Similarly, you can do even receipt scanning and stuff like that, which is possible through AI Builder. Again, all of this with low code or no code, literally. Microsoft Dataverse is again the biggest data platform that sits underneath of all of this. This is a big, bulky, I would say, data platform that is powering Fortune 500 companies today around the world, where all their business applications are running. Although there is a lot of professional code also written there to do heavy data integrations, it also acts as a simple low code, no code data platform for you to use if in case of Power App. So we'll take a look at that as well, of how data platform Microsoft Dataverse is helping you there. All right, let me switch my screen and quickly show you uh, some demos. Let me know when you can see my screen. Om, can you give me a thumbs up or something to tell me you can see it? Om, are you there?
Yes, I can see your screen, sir.
Okay. So the first thing that you will do is obviously you will get into office.com. You will sign in. You can definitely get student licenses. I can talk about it later after the session. You can sign up for free and get an office license for free. And then once you're signed in using that account, like using a Microsoft account, you can go to make.powerapps.com. And this is where all the magic would start. So I will go into the apps and I will literally start with a new Canvas app. I'll just leave it here and then quickly come to some real world scenarios here. Think about it as a place where you are trying to keep a track record of. Think about Gurukul as being a school, a virtual school, where people, kids are trying to enroll. Okay, so what type of data would you see in those kind of scenarios? You will have obviously a student roll number or an ID. Then you would have student names. Then you would have their email addresses, some classroom name, fancy names here. Obviously, some scores. Hopefully you can think about these as scores as some numbers out of 10 or something. That is just kept here to show numeric and email type values here. So if you have these kind of values in Excel, you would have seen when you're trying to share these applications or these Excel between different team members who want to update these things, over a period of time you will see your data gets corrupted because everyone gets right access and they can spoil the data. But if the same data is kept behind and a secure location and you're allowed to only access it through an app, let's see how that is possible here, right? So I just clicked on that create app thing. I'm on the screen. The real magic here is actually using the data that is already there here, and you can see within no time how the apps are being built. Ready for the magic? Let's say, but before that, remember the data connector things we said. We need to tell it where to go and get that data from, and that is where we are going to build a connection with. Now for simplicity, I've already logged into my OneDrive, and I have this Excel that I was showing here, saved here in the demo. So I'm going to build a new connection with OneDrive here. It will ask me to sign in and all that, which I've already done here, so I won't do it again. But as soon as I connect to it, it will tell me choose the file from where you want to pick that data from. So I will jump right into the demo, the same file we were looking at, connect it. It does have two tables, just if you don't know. These are the tables that I have inserted here. So once you click here, you will see some of the tables appearing here. This is table 1 and this is table 2. And that is what it's asking you. So I'm definitely going to connect to table 1. Let's see what happens. And this is where the magic is happening. All right. What do you expect in an application of such type? You need a form to enter the data. You need a place or screen to see the data, and then maybe another screen to see the details of what each record is. And there you go, your application is ready right away, right? Look at the Excel, look, the app is ready. All you have is your app has all the people that you were talking about here. Let's keep it side by side to make sure this is the same data we are looking at, right? And let's quickly jump into what it has done. You literally wrote, not a single line of code has been written, and the app is ready for you. You can straight away get these experiences. And by the way, this is actually what we call as the Maker Studio, which is where you will create your apps. Now half of the work is already done, but if you still are somebody who doesn't like the colors and stuff, very much like your PowerPoint or Word documents and all, you will be able to change your colors here, very much like this one. And then for testing your app, you will have a play button like a preview. And look at this, you have a default search, you have a default refresh, you have a sort, and you have a plus button, which will quickly get into what it is. But this is the magic of Power Apps, or which is this is the magic of low code, no code platforms. You are just telling it where to get the data from. You are just deciding what your layout would be, and obviously you're just giving the finishing touches to make the data look like what it is. Now, obviously, there were about 6 to 7 columns. Let's just make sure how many columns are there. So let me hide this. In the student 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, I have placed here that I can go and change more columns to be shown, but this is basically the place where you will go and change. Let's just say for the first time, I want to see the student name. That is more important to me instead of the classroom. So I will just go and flip that to say I want to see the student name here. And look how all the student names got changed. Next, I want to see their email addresses. And probably the last is where I want to see what classroom they're coming from. And again, this is also ready. So you can see how this screen is ready now. Now look at the magic. I want to see a little more about Harish. Like there were other 3, 4 columns, right? Let's look at that. I click that navigation button and the magic has happened and it's moved to the next screen. What do you think has happened here, right? I'll go ahead and click ahead and said, maybe I need to improve his scores. This is basically a scenario where you're updating the Excel. Instead of updating the Excel here, you're making it through the app because you're making sure all the changes are written concurrently at the same time, the data is not corrupted and stuff like that. But imagine this is possible, be it Excel, be it Azure SQL, be it uh, SAP systems, or be it your Oracle database or Amazon RDS or whatever data that you can bring in. The same magic works. I've kept it as Excel so that you guys are starting with this platform, you can understand how simple it is to learn those. And one big warning, it's a very addictive platform. Once you start building applications, you will be hooked onto it for life, I would say. So let's take a look at it. So this is where I'm just hitting that icons. Cannot write to file, so this is purely because I have kept it locked. I have opened it. Let me just close it so that it can write it. And just write it there. Go here. Okay. Let's write it now. Done. So the scores are 4 for Harish, and let's make sure it's got updated here again. Cool. So literally you have an end-to-end scenario of creating an app, editing the data inside it, saving it. Let's just see what has happened behind the screens when we just connected. It literally created those three screens for you. Remember, this was the detail screen where you were actually seeing this view. When you're hitting this, it's taking you to the edit screen, which is nothing but text boxes and places where you can update any of the information. Three screens is what it automatically created for you. Now, how hard it is to customize. Obviously, I showed you how to change the little things like colors and all, but this is where you will see the magic is happening here. uh, Especially on the detail screen, if I were to show you here, you can see some of the simple screen navigations are as simple as saying on select of this button, navigate back to the browse screen. And the browse screen is basically literally nothing but the first screen that you had there. And controls here are also pretty simple here. This is a gallery. The gallery is actually nothing but a record, uh, set of records that you can see here. Controls, you can even put new controls like buttons. These are drag and drop. Oh, sorry, I already just dropped it here. And then similarly on drop of the button, you can still say on on select, you could do the same thing as navigate to another screen here. And Just like Excel, it's even more intuitive than Excel because it will tell you what formulas as soon as you start typing, and it will say which screen do you want to go to. Let's say we want to go to detail screen. Obviously, this is not a scenario that is tied end to end, but let's test it if it works or not. You can see it works. The button is working. So it's as simple as that, as building those applications, and that's pretty much it on the application scenario. Okay. Now let's do one more thing here. Let me play it quickly. Remember this plus button I was talking about? Let's first see what is written there in the plus button. It's obviously going to tell I want to create a new form, which is basically going to take me to the edit form screen, and it's going to help me. Obviously, it's saying new form and also navigate. It's just saying that I want to create a new data into the Excel that we were looking at. Let's just add some new table here. Sorry, not new table, new value. Oh, classroom rain. So it's writing these crawling ants on the screens tells me that something is being written. And where did Raj go? Raj is here. What score did we put? It's already into the table. Let's just make sure it made its way into the table as well, into the Excel table as well. Do you see Raj? Maybe not. Let's refresh. Oh, Raj was there already. Sorry. So that's pretty much it here. Okay. um, you can play around and explore more. Definitely 1 5 minute session is not enough to explain what are the possibilities. You can see all sorts of controls, you can see all sorts of formulas built in there. It's simply saying sort the columns, have a search and stuff like that. This is all for you to explore and learn as you just learned Excel formulas by yourself. It's pretty easy to learn from here. Now let's jump into an automation scenario with Power Automate, which is on the screen we were talking about. This one, Power Automate, after the apps. So let's go look at it. So Power Automate is nothing but if you go to uh, flow.microsoft.com, let me take you there. It just builds processes for you behind the scenes, and this is where we'll take care of what is important and automate the rest for you. All you will see here is you can see some of the popular things, right? When somebody tweets, when some file is dropped in Dropbox, when an email arrives, do certain things, when there is a Google Calendar invite which says remind me about my friend's birthday, send me a text or something. I can build all sorts of automations based on this. Now these are all consumer applications. There are also business applications like Twilio, as I said, which is used as integration for sending text messages. uh, Up to 500 plus connectors are there to any data source in the world that you want to build for. We'll quickly see the same Excel scenario that we looked at, but let's also parallelly show you the power of teams.microsoft.com, which is uh, a collaboration platform. At the same time, it's also now acting as the remote work platform, which allows people to communicate, work, and do everything inside of Teams. So the magic of Power Platform is now also available inside of Teams as well. As you can see, all you have to do is add a new app and bring Power Apps here. Just to keep it stable there, I'll just pin it, and then right inside of the Teams itself, I can start creating apps here. But let's pause this for a while here. I just wanted to show you some of the themes and SharePoint where you can also see the file locations are here. Each team maps to a SharePoint site, which if you open is nothing but a document repository. So I wanted to show you that that same student record, that Excel, I dropped into this location. And we already saw how we can get data from Excel. Let's look at something that is peculiar about SharePoint, which is SharePoint list. So I created a list here, but let me just show you how easy it is to create a list. What if, sorry, this is a new item in the list. Let me go back here. I'm creating a list which is very much like Excel, but it has got a little more fancy web UI and things, which helps you to have a better thing, better control over the data. So look at how I can just take the same data and create a list out of it. So obviously I do have that students record thing. I just have to give it and tell it to say create a list out of it automatically, and you will see it figured out what the columns are, what the titles and stuff are, and it's going to name it as something else. And I can say I don't want to bring these columns and stuff like that. But let me just keep everything same because I already created it. Let me just rename this separately. And you can see in no time this list is getting created. Now the whole point of showing this list is also to say if you don't want use Excel, you want a web UI to deal with it, you will see some garbage kind of value showing up here. It is nothing but Power Apps writing some columns, which is to keep track of what was the value that was written. I can just ignore this value for now and hide it. So literally your screen is ready now. And instead of using Excel now, I could build the same app using SharePoint list. And then let's show you how the automations work here. Um, let's just say build the Power Automate, create a flow. Now, this flow is going to tell me, or this flow is all about creating a scenario where a new item gets added to this list. I want to be notified, or I want to see, like send a customized email when a new list item is created. Let's just see how that works, okay? And then I'll show you how that same list can be used for an app. And as soon as through the app I enter the data, I will get an email to say welcome something. Like for example, when a student joins the school, you may want to send a welcome email, and that's the typical scenario I'm going to show you. Meanwhile, as this is getting sorted out, let's go quickly to look at that scenario. I will save this data. Obviously, while saving, you can see some of the options that you have here. I'll just say demo app 1 and save it here. So this goes into the cloud so that next time, if you don't have time, you just want to save your work, you can save it to the work, and next time when you come, you will be able to revive from there. And obviously, once you're done, you can publish different versions, and you can also share. And once you share, you can just give the email address of the person you want to share with. That person can see your apps now. Let's go back to quickly creating a new app now using the SharePoint list we talked about. So that SharePoint list we were looking at is definitely this SharePoint, and that site is where I created. Remember, students record is the one that we created here. So that list is the new one that we created. Let's connect to that and create the same. The same magic that we talked about last time is going to happen here. Um, the only difference here is instead of the Excel, it's now connecting to that SharePoint list. Meanwhile, let's just see while this is doing the magic, what happened to our flow. So the flow opened up, it's already ready for you. It says send a customized mail when a new list is item is added. We might need to do a little connection mechanisms or some things that are needed. For example, it's already built the hook into the SharePoint list so that as soon as new item is created, it will pick up the automation. It's trying to get my information so that I can the email can be customized to have my name and stuff like that, which are it is doing it through connector to connecting to the uh, a company directory kind of a thing. Now look at the magic here. You might be wondering what are these values that you're seeing. It's nothing but placeholders. It allows you to pick the value from the data that is being used to trigger this thing. So instead of sending email to myself, I will instead say send the mail to also student email. So here along with my email, the student will also get an email. And here I will just say welcome to Gurukul. And instead of saying hi to me, let me say the same thing to the student guy, the student's name. So hi student name, and just say welcome to Gurukul, and I'll just save it. And that's pretty much it. I can obviously test it, but instead of testing it, let's just see the real magic happening once we play with that app that we were building. So the app that we were building, we were using the SharePoint list is ready now. Uh, Remember, this was using student records. You can always change these names. Instead to say welcome to Gurukul, which is your home page where you can see all the people's students name. And then let's do the same magic that we were trying to see if the automations are working. Let's add a new student name. Obviously this title is coming from the ID. Let me just show you what this is. So student records. Oh, we created a new one. Oops. Sorry, just a minute. Let me go back from this link. All right. So if you see here, SharePoint already added some name. I can change the name back to what I wanted earlier, which is student ID, so that it is making more sense to me. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to just show you that that student ID is what came across here as the title, which you could have changed had you been careful before you actually created the app on it. And let's just say a random name Suresh at again Gurukul. Scores are going to be, let's just say 7. Everything was out of 10. Remember, this Power Apps ID has also come. For the sake of moving ahead, I'll just put some number, random number, and there's also an attachment thing. We'll see because that SharePoint list was just consumed as is, it picked up all the values. We can go back and fix it. But for showing this process automation, we can just go ahead and do this. Uh, Literally, what is required here is when you do this detail screen here, you just have to come back here and say, I don't care for this value. And I can also change the name of this here. As we were saying here, just unlock this and start typing the new name. But let's just see what happened to our flow here. The process that was supposed to send the email. Let's see what happened. By the way, I need to sign into my email to make sure the mail has come. Hopefully, all right. Fingers crossed. There it is. The mail is already here. Welcome to Gurukul. Hi Suresh. Basically, this is the name of the student that we had entered. And that's pretty much it on the automation screen. All right. So that's about the magic of Power Automate. As I said, same can be done with Gmail, same can be done with any of the business connectors that you have here to connect to any of the business data sources or even consumer data sources like Twitter, Facebook, and stuff like that. Right. Just want to make a time check here. We probably are doing fine. I have one more Power BI demo and then we can switch to the slides and try to wrap up in 5 minutes.
Yeah, sir. We are running pretty good with time, so you can take that and we can take the questions later.
Fine. So the next one, remember we were talking about, let's just make sure what did we want to cover here. Again, we said we will do the apps, we did the automation. Bots, let's just pause it because we are running out of time. Let's do the reports portion of it. Reports are definitely built in Power BI. So you would definitely want to open up the Power BI desktop. I might have to sign into this account that I'm using here. And once that is done, we can see how fancy reports can be created using the data in the Excel, be it SharePoint or whatever. Okay. Yep. Meanwhile, while as that is loading, I can quickly show you in the Teams thing, Power Apps. One of the most recent updates that we have done is called as Dataverse for Teams, where within Teams itself, with your office license or with your student office license, here itself you can actually start building your applications. And these applications, the most interesting thing while building applications inside of Teams is your team is probably a small set of 8 to 10 people usually. And in that team itself, you can actually build an app that is focused just for their experiences. The same kind of applications can be built here. You can see Welcome to Gurukul is another application that you're seeing here. It's trying to connect. Obviously, I just have one team created here in this organization, so I'll just connect to that and I say I want my app to be created in that space. And pretty much the same experience that you were seeing in the browser with make.powerapps.com is going to happen here as well. The one more interesting thing here is you will have a place to create tables inside of Teams itself, and those tables is what we are referring to as Dataverse for Teams. So you don't have to have another Excel sitting there or another SharePoint list or anything. Your app and your data will be sitting right inside this Teams experience itself. Let's just say it's Gurukul test. Okay, and then here is where I was saying the magic happens, which is you can create your data table inside of the apps itself, inside of the Teams itself, without leaving anything. Like you're not going out of the Teams to do any of those sort, to go to SharePoint, go to Excel, jumping between the browsers that I was trying to do here, although not intentional. But some of those experiences is what we are trying to say. It's very simplified by staying inside of the Teams experience itself, which is the promise of Teams and Power Platform coming together to enable the remote work platform where you are a student appearing or attending your online classes, you are a teacher trying to make an attendance application, you are a frontline worker in the health industry trying to keep an inventory of the mask and PPE equipments. All those scenarios that you can think about, you will be able to stay inside of the teams, and this team could be a team of nurses, a team of teachers, or anything. Those scenarios is what we are trying to enable here. Let's just make it simple and just say two columns and show you how it works. You just added a simple Excel like table here, and that's pretty much it, and you're done. Your table is ready, and the rest of the magic is the same thing that you were trying to do earlier, where you have the student ID and the student name showing up. Let's just run quickly and say I want to add a new record. The student ID is 1001, 1002, or and just say Sri. And your app is ready now, all set, everything's done. All you're doing now is uh, saving it and publishing it. And once you publish this app, it's pretty much ready to be pinned to your Teams application, which I did not do here. But let me just complete that process. And once you do it, you will see this application that you just built will show up right in your Teams itself. All right. Meanwhile, I'm here. I'm trying to connect to uh, get data, import the data from Excel. Meanwhile, I just switched to show you the reports portion of it on how you can build reports as it's taking some time. Okay, Excel is what I need. I have copied that data locally into my box just for showing you how to build fancy reports here. I keep saying fancy, but the whole point is um, data in itself can tell many stories based on how you want the data to be represented. And analytical reports or the way you present it is what we are going to show you how Power BI helps you to do that. The student record does have table one, which is where all the values are. It loaded up. Let's just load it. And then all we are talking about is how to represent that data. Remember, I did not write anything starting with hello world.cs or hello world dot whatever python or whatever script. None of that is learned here, right? All of this is just clicking here and there, which all sounds like a little bit of magic, but that's the power of power platform that I wanted to show you guys and introduce you to today. And one more thing I wanted to share, as you learn this platform, as you saw, it is very simple. You have a lot of unfortunate folks who lost their jobs during this pandemic. I would encourage you guys to also go ahead and teach them as you learn those new things, and it will help a lot of people to resurrect their careers. People who think coding is hard, this is one good option to definitely pull up their careers and look at what is possible. If you just go and Google and try to search for citizen development or citizen developers like story, you will see a lot of stories of people how they have changed their careers just by learning this data, this platform. Again, just in the interest of full disclosure, Microsoft Power Platform is not the only low code no code platform. There are other low code no code platforms from Google, like AppSheet, from Amazon, called as Honeycode. All of these platforms do enable you to create low code no code applications or Power Apps type of applications, and automations and other things are possible. Feel free to explore those also if you are interested in exploring those ones. Okay, let's just quickly look at classrooms. I'm choosing the classroom and the score here. It it will start showing up here, and then what I'm trying to say is, let's see, if you're a teacher or a principal of this Gurukul, you want to see how each class is doing. You may want to look at it as uh, this kind of a view to say which of my class is better. Obviously, Blasters is doing awesome, right? You can see I'm influenced by some of the IPL names here, but that is basically just to show you like how one class is different from other class here. A lot of things are possible here. Again, instead of showing the sum of all the students scores, I can also show how are they doing with average, and you will see the average scores also got changed here. So here I'll just cut short. This is basically how a Power BI report can be created. Let's just go back and see where we are doing with that app thing. I think I lost that, but yeah, it's all here. All it's needed is come back to Teams and then pin it here, and then you will start seeing applications showing up here as a new tab here. So you can just pin it, and then you don't need to keep going to your different applications that we were trying to go all the time. And then uh, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today. Let's go back to the slides and continue where we are. So by the way, that Gurukul app that we built would start showing up somewhere here. All I have to do is pin it. Just for the sake of showing it, I will just show the app that I built earlier to be pinned here. As you can see, we can go fancy with the colors and stuff like this, and some of the fonts and stuff. And here you go, your app is ready. And from next time, whenever you want, you are chatting with your friends or you're posting something in Teams here. But as soon as there is a need to go to some applications like manage inspections or go to update the student records, I can just go to this app and start doing it. All right, I will switch quickly to the slides here. Demos are done. Congratulations, you are all citizen developers now. From my university, obviously, I don't know how much weightage it carries, but you all can build apps, and that is pretty much what I wanted to show you. Now, I did say let's cover why low code, no code is important, right? 500 million apps is what is needed in the business applications by 2023. The world needs, or the business organizations need, 1 million plus developers. 75% of that workforce is going to be millennials like you and me and everyone. I'm not that old, but looking at it, it probably I can be looked upon as a millennial. But Gen Z, which is like representing you guys, 24% of the workforce today is Gen Z, and that percentage is just going to increase. So you got the power to change the world. How many of you are not going to be like most of you, maybe computer science students, but if you are a mechanical engineer or a civil engineer or a diploma engineer or not even an engineer, all you need is to know how to write Excel formulas and PowerPoint. You can build the next set of these 500 million applications. That's the opportunity. Why now? This is probably the last slide I'll cover. We are in the midst of a pandemic. We have seen the world GDP contract by 5%. But look at the flip side, digital transformation, or everything that used to be done manually. You had to go out and eat at restaurants. You had to go to the classrooms to get knowledge. All of that process has become digital, right? And that's why I call digital transformation is on steroids. Proof of that, Zoom's daily active usage has gone up from 10 million to 200 million as of the report, as they reported in April. Teams, Microsoft Teams that you were just seeing the demo on, has seen a daily active usage go up from 44 million to 115 million just daily users of this. It just shows the opportunity that is there in this space. Most of it doesn't need the lines of code to be written because it's the same set of applications that you're often writing. You're just configuring to make it work in your organization. Look at the Zomato example. They were losing money per order 47 rupees, and now every order they're making 27 rupees more simply because the world has changed. They're going more digital. Even food is becoming digital, or at least the delivery portion so far, right? That's it. We have more learning resources. You can go to powerapps.com, learn and self-paced learning, or there is also a full-fledged course on Udemy which is free. You can attend and start learning and start creating your apps. So happy citizen developer kind of coding. Over to you, Om.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. The session was pretty much like kind of informative, and this is kind of every developer must know in today's day and age. And thank you for covering that. Like pretty, it was a very good session. Like I also, as I'm also a computer science student, but I got to learn a lot of new things because I am not much of a coder. Okay, I don't like to code. So the idea of Power Apps would really help me out in building scalable apps for organizations, and this is kind of the future where we build apps without code. And thank you so much for delivering this session. So we'll take questions. So everyone who is watching us right now, we have 10 to 15 minutes. You have 10 to 15 minutes to interact with Srikumar sir. Ask all your questions. If there is a part in the webinar you didn't get, or maybe you have some other questions, you can ask them in the live chat. So I'll just quickly, like, sir, there is a comment from Shraman.
Yeah, I see Sravan is happy with the kind of stuff. Yeah, sure, Sravan. I think it's people like you guys who we want to empower to build these next set of applications. You definitely cannot afford to pay, obviously, millions of rupees or dollars to buy the next product on Zoho or any sort of CRM applications. These are very much possible in a low scale as well if you are trying to build it. And citizen developers are are the people who will build your next set of applications. So feel free to empower everyone to build those things. Yeah, and again, just wanted to share, this is like, even though the Power Apps promises to make citizen development as democratic as possible, do not underestimate the power that is there in the platform. Professional developers can also use the application programming interface, the APIs, to build uh, very much like the professional coder would actually build a full-fledged business IT application that would be used by millions of users is also possible on the platform, because the Dataverse portion of it, the data platform that I was showing, is already hosting millions of users. As of last, we know there are 4 million plus users who are using it almost daily. So there's no reason why you should think that this is only possible for building applications with Excel. It's just for you guys to kind of get used to building applications. I showed you the example with Excel. We do have applications that are doing heavy business integration for ERP systems and CRM systems also for the world.
I hope that Shravan, that answers your question. And sir, I wanted to ask, like, you have been associated with Microsoft for 9 years. So my question is like, what has kept you going with Microsoft? Like for the past 9 years, you have been working, and currently you are also you'll complete 10 years. So what has kept you going?
Yeah, although like I'm working full time for 9 years now, my association with Microsoft goes back to like more than 14 years now. I've been working with Windows and all those applications that you might have heard about. It's simply because I believe in the mission that the company has, which is to empower every person and every organization on this planet to achieve more. Literally, that is what the Power Platform is also doing, right? It's allowing you as a citizen developer to learn and achieve more with your limited resources, with your without having to have all the full scale computer science graduation or degree or anything. That's the single promise which keeps me motivated every day to help folks like you. And not to um, forget, before I forget, I would say you guys are also doing an awesome job here at Industry Connect by introducing or giving chance to these new students and young professionals to interact with us and help us take the journey forward.
Yeah, pleasure, sir. And it's been a good session. And to be honest, I really enjoyed it. And I personally think the audience who have attended this session would have learned something new out of it. Because when I asked in the live chat, there are a lot of people who just heard about Power Platform, but they haven't implemented it yet in their real life. Okay, or maybe built apps. But this session, even if this session would be posted even after the live session, so the people can come and watch, like, see you building apps. So yeah, so there is one more question, sir,
Mhm.
from Nikhil Sumani. Hi Srikumar, sir, there is very less data on integration with D365 for FNO of Power Apps available on Google. Can we have session on that if possible? Nikhil, you can write to us, whatever we can connect you with, sir. To let you all know, the link to sir's LinkedIn profile is in the description box below. So if you have any personal doubts, if you are running a firm and if you want to build an app and you want to use Power Platform, you can reach out to sir on LinkedIn. Like whenever he's free, he'll be happy to assist you with all your doubts. But if you have any doubts regarding to the session, regarding to Power Platform, if you have not understood anything, you can maybe type it here in the live chat and we can maybe take it, because we have like 7 to 8 minutes left on the clock before we leave. So you can ask your questions. We are here for 7 8 minutes.
Yeah,
And
just to
yeah,
answer what Nikhil is asking, he's talking about, as I was saying, there is ERP applications, enterprise resource planning applications, and CRM applications, which are customer relationship management applications. These are two different set of industry. At the end of the day, what the promise of the Power Platform is to have a common data model, where as long as data is available, all the scenarios with FNO, or which is basically translating into finance and operations type of applications in the ERP world, that scenario is also possible. Nikhil, connect with me offline. I will share with you how we are enabling dual write, where all the data that you write to finance operations platform is also getting simultaneously written into Dataverse. And once the data is in Dataverse, you nothing stops you from creating all the fancy apps that we looked up on, all the scenarios that we looked on with Power Automate and scenarios like that.
yeah, Nikhil. So you can get connected with sir over LinkedIn and he'll assist you there. So if anyone has any questions, they can drop in the comment section and we'll wait for the questions. Till then, like, sir, how was your experience delivering this session with us? Like, can I know your feedback?
Yeah, as I said, always happy to help this set of students and this set of young professionals. Uh, the power of Power Platform is something I always love to tell. It's like a magician trying to show some magic, and people think it is very hard to write applications, but once you get hooked on and once you see how simple it is, all it takes is a little bit of time on your end and patience to learn and study these things. And plus, you literally got your certificate in citizen development in like last 30 minutes or so, right? And that is how simple it is. So definitely enjoy talking to you guys, and we'll keep connected with you guys.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. And we are trying to build such a platform for students where they can connect with you all. So that is in progress, kind of.
Yep.
So that would be coming soon. And sir, like in this pandemic, like as you are working with Microsoft, how has your team been performing in this pandemic? They are performing good, like you are performing according to your expectations, or maybe there are some issues or challenges you guys are facing due to the pandemic.
Yeah, I would say I will not try to say just what is happening at Microsoft. We like I'm in a place where I have a lot of friends in Amazon, Facebook, Google, and Microsoft. All of those folks are in the same situation. We consider ourselves to be more fortunate that we still are employed and there's job. And in fact, as I was saying, digital transformation is on steroids. So our workload has definitely gone up. We have lost the separation between work and home. But at the same time, our heart, or my heart at least, goes out to the people who have not been so fortunate, whose jobs could not be digitalized in time, or who are down there doing still the very manual work. We should definitely try to give to the society, and that is where we are always thinking about. From the business perspective, definitely on the organizational front, we our timelines have definitely gone for a toss. We are definitely not dipped anything on the productivity. It's definitely on the same side, but we do miss going back to offices and doing some more creative um, conversations that would have helped us to build new products and stuff. Those scenarios are definitely not happening. It's all on the teams. Just wake up, get on teams, talk to your colleagues, build or write whatever you want to write on the code or scenarios, and build those applications. Those scenarios definitely might need more person in person experiences that are definitely being missed in these scenarios.
I personally think that you are doing a great job, sir. Like working with Microsoft, working with a great team, and like like connecting with us. And thank you so much for accepting our invite. I hope that this was kind of a demo session, so I like everyone understood what you needed to convey in this session. So that is the reason why there are no questions coming up yet. So let's just quickly wrap up with the session. But before we go, I want to personally thank you so much, sir, for your time, for your valuable knowledge, and yeah, for making your presence here, accepting our invite as our speaker for Industry Connect, and devoting your time. I know that it's night in US, but still, like you decided to deliver this session, and to let you know, it was an amazing session. Me and everyone like who will be watching this session after it is posted would learn a lot of new things. And thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thanks, Om. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, and like to let you guys know about tomorrow's session, if you enjoyed today's session, please hit the like button. Please connect with Srikumar sir. His link is in the description. The LinkedIn link to his LinkedIn handle is in the description box below. And do connect with us. Do ask him. He's happy to assist you. So this ends our day two, and tomorrow is our day three. So it's going to be delivered by Mrinal Jain, who is a tech speaker and also a front-end developer who is working with a firm. So he's going to talk about Flutter, which is a product from Google, and he's going to like introduce you to Flutter, and also a lot of demos would be there in the session. So do attend tomorrow as well. So the time for tomorrow's session would be 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. IST. So do attend the tomorrow session as well. So we'll be having sessions till 21st. So make sure you attend every day. The timings are not same, so maybe you can refer to the event schedule, which is there, which is available on our official page. So maybe you can check that out. And thank you all. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending this session. I hope that this session helps you in some way or the other, and you'll implement these things in future in your career as well. So without wasting further time, I'll just wrap it up. And thank you so much. And have a nice day, everyone. Bye.